Hello everyone, this is Penny at Pod Popper's Place, and I know I haven't been around a long time, but I have been going back to school and working full-time, and so I have not had really any crafting time until this Christmas break. So I am working on Kendra's card challenge number 21. I'm excited to be able to spend some time working on making some cards I'm going to use as gifts, especially for like teachers' gifts at the end of the year, that kind of thing. And so I am starting with card sketch number 15. I'm going to work backwards this time, and I already made an error. So I am going to be using some not too shabby product that I've had in my stash when I was on Kendra's team, and I worked with this kit before, Cottage Roses, ephemera, and some paper pads, and I'm going to be continuing to work with that because it just comes with so many things, so I have a lot left to work with here. So I'm working on card sketch 15, and I cut this strip correctly, but for some reason this other strip is a little bit short, and so I just wanted to show you quickly what I'm going to do to kind of solve this problem, because I was going to trim down my panel here, but then I glued it down on my base first and it was like, oh, whoops. So I cut it into two pieces, and what I'm going to do is use a sentiment to on a banner and go across the middle there, and it's going to hide my error, and then you will never know that it was there. And I've got my 3 circles, and I'm ready to glue everything down with some of this ephemera from this kit, and it all matches. And yeah, so that's how I'm going to fix that error, and I just really wanted to make sure that you saw that how I'm going to fix that, and you will just never even know. So I've got everything glued down. It doesn't tell you what you need to put inside the circle, so you can put anything or nothing. You could just put pattern paper or something pretty there. And it does call for 3 little embellishments, which I have these left over from the kit as well. And then this is the banner I decided to use. I was gonna use something different, but it wasn't fitting properly. So I'm happy with how it turned out. I think it looks nice. And I've got my card base here. I'm going to put a few embellishments on as the sketch calls for. And I don't know, which one should I use? I kind of want to use this color since it's kind of not represented maybe as well. And I'm going to use 3 different sizes, but it doesn't really specify. You could use the same size. And of course I put that on there. And it's stuck. It's stuck. That's okay. We will just you know, make lemonade, and we will put the embellishments like that instead of the straight down. So that's okay. Sometimes you roll with it, which is what I did repeatedly with this card apparently. And I am going to take some of this ephemera pieces that are smaller and put a little something inside the card inside. And please excuse my horrible nails right now. The Christmas season was very hard on them, and between cooking and cleaning and wrapping and unwrapping and stuff, they just took a beating, and some of them broke. And so I have all these little pieces, and I kind of got a little clothing thing going here, but there's also flowers on there, so I don't think I want to put a whole another piece of clothing in there, but maybe just a little flower in the corner would be nice. I'm really trying to be intentional with my handmade cards and send them out myself, and also give them as gifts and stuff, because I think that these are so much more meaningful than a text. So I am going to start on card number 14 here in a minute, but this is card number 15 for Kendra's card challenge number 21. So for card sketch 14, there's these stripes here, and it doesn't tell you what to use. So you could use strips of paper, you could use stickers that are already cut into strips. I know Love for Lizzie has some of those. You could use washi tape, which is I think what I'm going to use. I didn't have a lot of options for washi tapes that would really look good with this, so I'm just going to go with a basic white, but I think that'll look okay because we've got a pretty busy background. And I am going to modify this banner. I'm just going to use a really much smaller banner, and it's going to be cut off and not go all the way through because I had this little sentiment that says, "Hey chick," and I'm going to use these little baby chicks for my focal point on the card. And so to get my stripes laid out pretty well, I'm going to tape down my background sheet, and I'm going to use my T-ruler so that I can try and lay this out so that they are straight. There's 5 stripes, so I'm probably going to start kind of maybe in the middle, and I'm just using some mint tape to kind of hold this down in the corners. So it's not super strong tape, but hopefully it'll be strong enough to keep my paper in place. And I'm going to make these longer than what they need to be because I'm going to tuck it around the back, because washi tape is notoriously not very sticky, and so I want some extra room there to wrap it around and not have to worry about it coming up, because the backside will be glued down, and so the washi tape will be glued down with it. So, and the good thing about it not being super sticky is when you make a mistake, then it's easy to lift up and move it back into place. Anyway, I was cleaning up my phone and going through and deleting old stuff and moving stuff around, and I came across when I was on Kendra's team way back with challenge number 8 in 2022. So there was a voice recording that I had done for one of the videos still on my phone, so that was kind of funny. And I thought, wow, went from number 8 in 2022 to now number 21 in 2026. So congratulations to Kendra and how much that has grown over the years. So, and after all these years, I still enjoy doing the challenge and getting to play in my crafty space, so that's good too. All right, so I'm just going to burnish these down, and you know, they will pop up if you don't burnish them, or if you leave it for sitting too long, they might pop. But okay, so now we have our stripes, and instead of an oval, I decided to go with this frame, and I'm going to use these little chickies and my little banner that says "Hey Chick," and some little flowers, and I'm going to put all that together, and then I will show you the end result. So I finished layering all this up, and I didn't put a layer behind, I just used my card base for the layer because the white went well together. I didn't think it needed any other colors behind there. And then inside I just added a little embellishment, and that is card number 14. For card sketch 13, because I'm using double-sided paper, I can turn this over because the card goes this way, and obviously that looks funny to have that. So non-directional paper is always best, but sometimes you just can't avoid it, and that's okay if you have double-sided. And so I do have two options here. I can go with these colors and papers and patterns, or I could flip this over and use the florals because those do not matter which direction you go. There is going to be a circle here, so I will probably use some more ephemera. So depending on the ephemera I choose, I might use the florals, but I might just turn it back over and not use the florals. So I like that little coffee thing, but I think those florals are a little bit distracting. So we will maybe use this side, and because I cut this paper intending to use this side, there's a funky little edge where I cut, and so again, using a bone folder or something, you can flatten those out so it doesn't give that kind of weird look. The other option would be to trim it down some more, and sometimes you can get away with that, but sometimes it's kind of difficult to cut really close to the edge. But if you can see, usually just using a bone folder or whatever will get rid of those funky edges from cutting. And yeah, so that seemed to work pretty well. And I'm going to lay this out, and then I will show you the end result. So before I put all this together, this is sometimes what happens when you cut these patterns, sketches out, is that sometimes maybe paper wasn't cut properly, or maybe it's just human error, which probably was, but you can see these are supposed to be the same size or same length, and it's quite a large difference. So I think the pink is fine as far as what it's supposed to be, but this one is too short. So in order to compensate for that, I'm actually going to trim this down so it's going to be shorter than the 5 1/4 by 4 here, just so that I can have this fit properly. So I'm probably gonna glue this down and then see where I need to trim at, and then I can just glue these down and then trim the excess off. So I'm really trying to be conscientious and use my scraps lately. So I just have so many of them, and I hate to throw paper away. So I'm going to, these aren't colors that I would normally pick out for this, but it's from my scrap pile. So I'm going to just take a little bit of ink and kind of distress the sides a little bit, just to kind of make it look more in line with our other papers. And as you can see, I got my circle out of the center here, and so I'm not wasting that as well. And I'm going to do that to my both my kind of yellowish pieces here. I think this is Stampin' Up! Maybe So Saffron, so it's a discontinued color, but I really liked. I do like, it's just not probably what I would have chosen, but since it was in my scrap pile, I'm gonna make it work. And I just think that gives a little more brown tones. So I'm going to do that as well with this circle here. And my white is white here, but this is kind of an off-white. So I don't know, maybe I will put some ink on that as well. quite so stark, and then plus that's white, so this will make it a little bit stand out a little bit more. So I don't think, even though it says antique linen, I think that it's got a little, my pad probably had a little bit of vintage photo on it. So that might have been a little bit darker than it normally would be. But I think that kind of works. I would like to add a sentiment. It doesn't require a sentiment, but I would like to add something. So I'm going to see if I have anything that'll work, and then I will come and show you the final result. So I've got everything glued down, and I added coffee date soon from a old sentiment set, so it has coffee on here, and then I added a little coffee cup inside, and that is card sketch number 13. For card sketch 12, there is a fairly large, it's centerpiece, so I'm probably going to use one of these larger pieces from the ephemera set. And then there are 2 banners, but you have 3 pieces of paper, and this is A and C, so I believe these 2 go on the outside, and then I believe this extra one is for the inside of the card. So I decided to round all the edges off on my layers and then on my background, and then I didn't put the banners down low where they're supposed to go on the sketch. I put them up higher so that it didn't block my shelf or get completely covered up by the little shelf. So in order to keep that kind of rounded corner look going, you can do your card base as well. You really have to press down, especially if you have thicker cardstock, which I try to use fairly thick cardstock, but it will go into these punches. It's just harder to get in there, and but then you have those matching corners, which makes it really a nice finished look. So these ones don't line up properly, so I'm going to do these individually. This looks a little bit off, so I'm going to try and redo that, see if I can get some more of that off. Oh gosh, I made it worse. All right, that'll be the back. So you can't see that. We'll just flip it over. Good thing I didn't put the glue on there yet. Okay, and then this is the inside little banner, so I will put that in here as well. Completely up to you if you want to put the little banners in or not, and then where you want to put them as well. So I should have put it maybe there and covered up that corner, but probably no one will ever notice it. Oh, I'm supposed to have another layer behind this, but I think I will just leave the white as my border. The white goes nicely with all the other colors, and we'll just use that instead of adding another layer. And yeah, you're pretty free to change up the sketches a little bit. Kendra's quite gracious in that, so if they have to be manipulated a little bit to fit what you're doing, then that's okay. But it still looks like card sketch number 12. So this is the layout for card sketch number 11, and again I have this pattern paper, and it doesn't look too bad, although the little chicks are on their side there, but I do have the option of flipping these over again and using the other side, and I could even flip these over, but then we have we have this pattern paper that some of it looks odd if it's laying on its side there. So I am going to keep the green flowers, and I'm not really sure, kind of prefer these patterns even though they're not, and it's not like it's straight up and down paper because everything kind of goes a little, you know, different directions. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that looks better because I just feel like that's a lot of different dots and plaids and florals. I don't know. I would have to press this down as well so that I can get rid of that cut edge, because the way I cut it was for the other side of the paper. So what do you think? Which side should I use? This is sketch number 11. So I will show you what I come back with. And let me know if you think I should have done it a different direction. I noticed one thing is that these all are supposed to be touching, and surprise, I am going to use the dots, not the other side of the paper. So a trick to getting these lined up on your background correctly is to flip them all over and line them up and then tape them together before you lay them down. So this is actually going to go on this side that way. Whoops. So we're gonna turn that over. And one thing I did notice is my little paper here is supposed to be the same length as this one, and it's a little bit short, but we are going to cover that up with our ephemera piece. So I'm going to line it up in the top so that you won't be able to see my mistake. And then let's see, this one will go here. And this one was too long, and that's why when I tried to fit it all together, it was actually too long, and I was like, what is going on? So this one I must have cut incorrectly. Okay, what am I doing? Okay. What am I doing here? Okay, this goes here. No. Yes. This is hard. It's hard to do this backwards. And I think this one's a little bit off too. So, and then I'm going to use just some washi tape and carefully line these up. And stick them together. It's most important that your corners are lined up properly, your edges. The Tim Gun of crafting. Make it work moment. Okay, so see, that's where you can see that is a little off, and it's a little off there, but I don't think you're gonna really notice that. So we will use some, my non-stick scissors are not as non-stick as they used to be, so I almost hate pulling them out sometimes. Let's see if we can trim this inside there. I don't think you'll notice that. I think that'll be covered probably. All right, so now that I have this all stuck together on the back side, we can glue it down on our background and see exactly where our edges should be, and it makes it so much simpler. So I will come back with a finished card. So this is card sketch number 11, and I did do a little bit different here because it just like inside the box, and so I used some things that I had already stamped and some previous cuts and stuff, and used the girl to kind of cover up my area that was a problem, and used this to cover up another area that was a problem, and then I added some of those pretty enamel dots that match. And that's card sketch number 11 finished. So for card sketch number 10, the square inside says 2.5 inches. Now it's not really inside. So if you put these papers together, the inside portion is 2 inches. But if you cut a 2.5 inch square, there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can layer it on top and have the background frame it. And you can also put it behind there, and then you have like more like a picture frame kind of look. And I think I'm gonna do it this way just because of the little thing I'm going to have here. It's just gonna be more focused on that, and it's kind of small. If I had a larger image or something I was putting on it, I would definitely do it the other way so that I would have more of that white space to put an image on. And then I found a set of mine that says talking about tea, so positivity. So I'm going to use the little teacup there, and that is going to be the basic part of my card. And I'm going to finish that up, and then I will show you the end result. So I have already glued these down, and I added some layers, some scraps on the back so it would lay flat, but I'm kind of gonna be hanging off the edge because this is supposed to be centered underneath each other. So I do have another layer to put behind it, but I think I'm still going to be kind of hanging off the edge here. Yeah, see, it's pretty far off the edge. So I'm gonna have to change it up a little bit, and it's not going to be right underneath each other like as in this sketch. So not a huge adjustment, but yeah, definitely did not think about that where I was setting that teacup. So it would be sticking, I would have to get a bigger envelope and card base, or at least a bigger envelope, and yeah, I don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna slide it over and it'll be fine. So that's about, and I did cut the center out again of my paper. This is actually Stampin' Up! Paper that's no longer available. I think it's called Soft Succulent. So sometimes if you can find paper that's discontinued, but it matches this not too shabby shop paper like perfectly. So I was real glad to have that. So I'm sure I'll be able to use this for another card sketch, hopefully. And I did use an embossing folder on the back layer here, just in white, just to give it some texture, and I think that looks really nice. And then I'm just going to glue everything together and get it on the card base for sketch number 10. So that is card sketch number 10 for Kendra's Card Challenge number 21. It is getting late today, and I think I might try to do one more card, and then I will be done with this video, and you will have to catch the next one for card sketch number 1 through 8. This would be card sketch number 9 through 15. And I will be back with card sketch number 9. Okay, I got another piece of this out, and I also used the same embossing folder just to give it more interest on the background. It doesn't require it. And this is our piece that goes on top, the paper D, and our paper B goes right here. And so I had a square die, but I didn't have one that was 2.5. Now, maybe I do, but not in this pattern. I wanted the stitched edge. So this is 2 1/4, and so I did cut this to the same measurement. So you just have a smaller border. So I could cut this down to 1 3/4, or I could use a different square here, but I wanted that stitched edge, and I'm going to actually cover quite a bit of it up anyway. I'm going to make like a little pile. Pile's not the right word. A little vignette, maybe? Is that the word? I don't know. Out of my images here. So I have these little glue bottles. I want to make sure I use up before they kind of dry up inside and are not usable anymore. So yeah, I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. This is New Year's Day 2026, and I have to go back to school, back to work next Monday, and so I am enjoying some crafty time in my space after not being in it really at all for about 6 months. And so it's been nice to be able to get in here and be creative. So kind of almost feels like a muscle that if you don't use it, gets weak, and you kind of sit here going, how do I do this again? What do I do? So it's nice to stretch that muscle out and have some time to be creative. So it doesn't call for a sentiment on the sketch, but I made this little one up from a Spellbinders set, and I like the set, except these letters are super little fine. So if you don't use double-sided adhesive sheets, which sometimes work great, and then sometimes like it makes it really hard to get them apart anyway. But if you don't use those, then it is a little bit hard to glue these down, just because they are pretty fine letters, but it's cute. I like to have lots of different sentiments, especially dies. So I'm going to make this a little vignette here. I think this bottle, there's a little bit of glue stuck inside the tip there, so I'm gonna have to mess with that later. But I'm going to finish this card for you first, and I'll mess with that later. So I'm hoping these cards will make a good gift. For maybe a teacher or a friend or a family member. I like giving them away. I have lots of cards in a drawer, and I don't necessarily craft with a purpose in mind, as far as, I think I wanted that just to angle the other way, but oh well. It's fine. So when I make stuff, I don't have sometimes I do, but a lot of times I'm just wanting to be creative, and I'm gonna have to like put some extra lift there because it's fallen off the edge and it's looking a little wonkety. So I'm gonna just stick this on the back, and I don't measure and stuff or anything. I just kind of throw it on there. Yeah, so it's not really perfect, but that's what this giant block is for. To weigh it down and hold it until the glue dries. But I haven't put this on a base yet, but this will be card number 9 for Kendra's Card Challenge, sketch number 9, challenge 21. I probably might put a little something on the inside of the card, but for now this is the front, and I will come back and do 1 through 8 on another day. I think 1 through 8 are much more complicated. These were really much more basic, pretty easy, straightforward designs. So 1 through 8 is probably going to be a bit more of a challenge. So anyway, take care, and we will see you later. Bye.